Right now at 5, we're live at the Democratic National Convention as it kicks off in Chicago. And Gunderson Health System announces an expansion of its inpatient behavioral health services.
You're watching WKBT La Crosse. This is News 8 Now at 5.
Good evening and thank you for joining us for News 8 Now at 5. I'm Emily Brown. Ken is on assignment at day 1 of the Democratic National Convention. And while it may be in Chicago, battleground states like Wisconsin remain top of mind for party leaders. News 8 Now's Ken Kazarowski joins us live from the DNC grounds with the latest. Ken.
Emily, good evening to you. We joined the Wisconsin delegation at an official breakfast this morning, and based on the people that the DNC sent to talk to them, you would have thought the Wisconsin delegates here are the only VIPs in town. Starting right off the bat, the presumptive VP nominee, Tim Walz, making a surprise appearance to kickstart the breakfast this morning. Thanking people for answering phones and knocking on doors relentlessly since Kamala Harris entered the race. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer joining, as well as Governor from Maryland Wes Moore, New York Governor Kathy Hochul, and Michigan's Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist. And for all of them, the message was clear. The path to Washington runs right through Wisconsin, and it'll take an all-out sprint to get to the finish line.
I am not waking up the day after this election and not thinking we left it all on the field. We are going to leave it all on the field. We're going to knock every door that needs to be knocked. We've got 78 days of hard work. We can sleep when we're dead.
Now, a Monmouth University poll asked Democratic voters about their enthusiasm for their candidate against Donald Trump. Back in June, Democratic voter enthusiasm for Joe Biden was 46%. Now for Kamala Harris, it's 85%. And we heard from Governor Evers this morning that he has never seen energy like this basically in his lifetime around the election cycles, especially, Allison, for the young voters of Wisconsin. And that was a big focal point this morning.
Oh, yeah. Young voters here know how critical they are in the Badger State. Now, Harris and Trump will both have to work hard to get the young members of their bases out and voting in Wisconsin. But young Democrats here say they've seen a wave of momentum since Harris became the presumptive nominee. And those young voters could be the make or break in a state with razor-thin election margins. Massachusetts-based Tufts University says Wisconsin's youth are the most likely to impact the presidential election outcome in their state. And Dems here say that Harris-Walz ticket best represents issues the youth care about.
One, there's climate change. We want to make sure that our planet is habitable as we grow into the workforce. There's a question of, affordability. Kamala Harris just released her economic plan, which makes college more affordable, housing more affordable, so that as we, grow up and enter the workforce again, we can afford those costs.
And young Democrats are hoping to use a message of both policy and positivity to keep momentum going for their candidates. And come November, we will see how much of an impact that youth vote had, both nationwide, but also really in the Badger State.
Absolutely. So Allison Ferga joining me this week for the Democratic National Convention. We'll have more from that youth perspective in the Wisconsin delegation coming up at 6, as well as what we can expect from President Joe Biden tonight, who's delivering the keynote address and who's stepping aside just a month ago, made all of this a new invigorated mentality for the Democratic Party. We're live outside the United Center and Chicago's West Side. For Allison Ferga, I'm Ken Kazarowski. Emily, back to you.
All right. Thank you, Ken and Allison. Now, as the Democratic National Convention begins in Chicago, former President Donald Trump kicks off one of his busiest campaign weeks. He's on a blitz of battleground states, talking Monday to voters in York, Pennsylvania, where he detailed his plans to help Americans and tackle inflation.
Our plan will massively cut taxes, unlock American energy, slash regulations, big factor, crack down on trade cheaters and stop outsourcing, rebuild our industrial base and bring back those beautiful words, made in the USA.
Trump's running mate, Senator J.D. Vance, also talked economics in Pennsylvania. North Carolina is another campaign stop this week where Trump will hold an outdoor rally, the first since his assassination attempt a little over a month ago. Well, a lovely day we had here in our region. Nice, quiet, and sunny, and good news because we have a big streak of that ahead of us, Greg.
Yeah, pretty dry stretch, or at least quiet stretch of weather going on, and pleasant conditions. That's probably the bigger story, is the pleasant temperatures that we're going to see. We're not going to really see much in the way of heat and humidity this week. but we do have some changes for the weekend. Otherwise, we do have a little bit of smoke or haze still out there. That's why you're seeing it. We do have that full moon tonight, that super moon you probably heard of. It's actually a blue moon too. So it's a sturgeon moon, so that's going to be tonight, or actually it's peaking right now this afternoon. But that'll be visible tonight because we should have clearing skies. We have a few clouds up to the north, Eau Claire, especially northeast, but getting back down to 67 with some light northeast winds. A few clouds out there right now, but we should dip back into the upper 60s later this evening. Quiet conditions. Overall, cloud cover as you go further east and north of Eau Claire, even a little sprinkle further up there with some of the activity pushing down with a weak little cold front that's really not going to push much further southwest than it is right now. Bigger story, all the activity out to the west is going to stay that way. That's why we're going to see a nice quiet stretch. And overnight, the only thing we're really concerned about is maybe fog once again this time of year. Although some areas could see that getting back into the upper to the 50s, maybe a few spots in the upper 40s. Now, it's great sleeping weather that will continue, but we'll kind of break down when that's actually going to change a little bit later in the broadcast.
Now, is that a picture of a sturgeon and the moon that you just showed? Okay.
That's the old sturgeon.
So it could be a good night for fishing too.
Well, we don't know about
maybe.
that.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Greg. 4 teenagers are injured after a UTV crash in Viroqua Sunday afternoon. According to the Vernon County Sheriff's Office, a side-by-side UTV was headed east on the Upper Maple Dale Road when a 14-year-old driver tipped the UTV onto its side while making a right turn. All 4 passengers were taken to Vernon Memorial Healthcare and were released that day. No seatbelts or helmets were used, and the crash is still under investigation. In downtown La Crosse, a section of Cass Street is closing for a city project. According to a notification from the city, beginning tomorrow, the east and westbound lanes of Cass Street will be closed for an unspecified city project. The closures run from 7th Street to 3rd Street. A finish date for the project is not listed on the city's notification, which adds a detour will not be posted. Gunderson officials announced the addition of 4 inpatient mental health beds today. The addition brings their total to 34 beds in inpatient behavioral health. 4 beds will allow their team to serve an additional 200 patients experiencing mental health crisis per year. Recent closures of HSHS Sacred Heart Hospital and Prevea Behavioral Health Clinic has resulted in a drastic reduction of behavioral health beds in western Wisconsin.
This also makes us the only inpatient behavioral health provider this side of the state. The decisions are not easy, but this is a necessary one. We are adding 4 inpatient behavioral health beds to meet the needs of our community, patients, and families who need it.
A 2024 Compass Now report identifies mental health care and healthcare access as the top 2 community needs in the Great Rivers region. Volunteers gathered at Northwoods International today to get their school garden ready for the new school year. The garden is maintained by GROW, an area nonprofit that partners with schools to connect youth with healthy food through hands-on garden-based experiences. In addition to harvesting produce, the volunteers also spent their morning weeding and watering the plants. GROW's lead program coordinator says volunteers play a big part in the nonprofit's success.
We love to have the kids in the garden. We love to have volunteers come out and help support it, because that's what it's all about, is bringing the community in and having everybody involved.
If you'd like to help GROW prep the other partner gardens for the upcoming school year, there's information how to do so on their website. We'll have that link on our digital platforms. A former congressman pleads guilty. George Santos pleads guilty to 2 felony counts. We'll be back after this.
If you're in a nursing home, you only have 5-6 month life expectancy. Almost nobody in a nursing home is in a point to vote.
Listen, Eric Hovde, Mr. Fancy California banker, I earned my retirement, but you said you would absolutely cut Social Security and even raise the retirement age. Now you want to take away our right to vote? Eric Hovde, you're one heck of a jerk. Will never have my vote. DSCC is responsible for the content of this ad.
The Make It Ford Summer Sales Event is on. So make it your best summer ever with Ford. Get your ideal combination of power and capability. And experience hands-free highway driving technology with Ford Blue Cruise, available on select vehicles. It's the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event, so make it yours. Make it now. Get up to $7,400 in total savings on a new 2024 Ford F-150, only at your local Northland Ford dealers.
Okay, 500 deluxe garden gnomes. Wow.
I only meant to order 5. There's not enough money in my account for these. I'm gonna get charged.
2 things I just can't deal with: overdraft charges and garden gnomes. But your BMO Smart Advantage checking account gives you an extra day to avoid an overdraft fee.
Nice to see a bank cutting people some slack.
Well, mistakes happen, and we give you time to correct them.
So you don't like gnomes, huh? What about that one?
That one I like a lot.
BMO. Improving your home, improving your life with quality for less. Don't be fooled by free installation or buy this and get that free. Be assured this baloney is the road sign to high prices. Discover what thousands of your friends and neighbors have for over 30 years. The best price today and every day on windows and doors, bathrooms and kitchens, siding and gutters, sunrooms, decks, and pergolas. Call or visit the board store for a prompt free estimate. 524 Copeland Avenue, La Crosse, since 1989.
Disgraced former Congressman George Santos pleaded guilty to felony charges today in a New York federal court and will be seeing jail time when he's sentenced in February. Lana Zach has the latest.
George Santos drew extraordinary headlines during his short political career. For a moment as a rising star in Republican politics, but that quickly turned to fraudster with a fake resume. His downfall continued Monday, the former congressman pleading guilty to 2 felony counts stemming from his 2022 campaign, wire fraud and aggravated identity theft.
After years of telling lies, former Congressman George Santos stood in the courthouse right behind me and finally, under oath, told the truth.
The judge estimates a total possible sentencing of 6 to 8 years.
One thing for certain, he will be getting a lot less of a harsh sentence by pleading guilty right now, by accepting responsibility and being remorseful than he would have if he went to trial.
Last December, the New York Republican became just the 6th lawmaker ever to be expelled from Congress. The final straw came after a House Ethics Committee report found he grifted thousands of dollars from his donors to spend on luxury items and trips. Unrelated to his crime, Santos also admitted to lying to the public about his education, family life, career, and religious background.
I always joked, I'm Catholic, but I'm also Jewish.
2 of Santos's former staffers previously pleaded guilty to crimes connected to his campaign. Lana Zach, CBS News, New York.
Now, Santos was charged with 23 felonies, and in court he admitted to those crimes. He was also ordered to pay back more than $370,000 in restitution. Severe weather continues to threaten the East Coast. More on the storms after the break.
We still might see some patchy fog the next several mornings, but overall we're going to see pleasant conditions continue all week long. I'll break down when the heat and humidity should be making a comeback. That all coming up on your First One Weather Update after the break.
Before she was the most liberal U.S. Senator, Kamala Harris was the liberal San Francisco prosecutor, the most progressive in all of California. She let an MS-13 gang member go, who then murdered a father and his 2 sons. She agreed to release another felon, who then committed murder. And Kamala even protected illegal alien drug dealers so they could escape deportation. Kamala Harris, a dangerous San Francisco liberal. Make America Great Again, Inc. is responsible for the content of this advertising.
At Taco John's, we've got beef with other places that start with frozen beef. That's why we start with only 100% American never frozen beef, simmered in our signature spice blend. Say no to thaw and yes to 100% American beef at Taco John's.
Where there's a flooded basement, musty crawl space, or wood rot, there's an answer. American Waterworks. For more than 30 years, American Waterworks has been solving homeowners' toughest waterproofing problems. Schedule your free inspection and estimate today.
We provide specialty level care in anything from wisdom tooth removal to dental implant placement to more complex corrective jaw surgeries.
Trying to make it as easy of an experience as you can go through. We're the most experienced clinic in the region for these types of procedures. If you or your family member needs wisdom teeth removed, tooth extraction, dental implants, you found the right place. We'd be happy to see you here.
We work closely with your general dentist. Have a discussion with your dentist about a referral to us.
T-Mobile coverage in my area is wonderful.
We have 8 acres, and it gives you peace of mind to know that you're going to have a reliable signal.
We enjoy hiking. We enjoy the outdoors. The coverage has been great.
And after investing billions to light up our network from big cities to small towns, T-Mobile is America's largest and fastest 5G network. See for yourself. Try T-Mobile's network free for 3 months. Your phone, our network, no strings.
My cancer drugs, $1,800 per month.
My hospital bill for a heart attack, $241,544.18.
I'm Rebecca Cook. My parents are like a lot of folks hit hard by sky-high medical bills, and with hospital closures, access to care is an even greater challenge. So what does Derek Van Orden say? Destroy Badger Care, gut Medicare, deny women reproductive care. I'll fight for affordable health care. Derek Van Orden won't, and that's why I approve this message.
Go get him, honey.
Thank you for watching News 8 Now. Expect more.
More severe weather is threatening parts of the East Coast today. Life-threatening rip currents are engulfing the East Coast as Ernesto regains hurricane strength. The storm system triggered torrential rain that prompted a flash flood emergency in southern Connecticut Sunday, and 2 people in the state were swept away.
The river started to rise pretty quickly. We were going to try to get some of our police cars out of the parking lot. We didn't really have time for that. We got some crucial cars out.
Just kind of just amazed, you know, like just to see what Mother Nature really can do. It's impressive but terrifying at the same time.
The storm also took aim at Bermuda over the weekend. Powerful winds stripped trees off their leaves and knocked out power to 70% of customers on the island. Well, over here back at home, not a lot of activity expected to go on. Sunny and clear with some patchy areas of fog, but that's about it, Greg.
Yeah, pretty much this pattern is going to be dry for the most part in pleasant conditions too, with the hot dome or the ridge as we call it out to the west, bringing that jet stream well to the north into Canada. It comes back down northwest, keeping up mild conditions, and the storm track, as you notice, just far enough to the west. So that's what we're going to be seeing here over the next few days. It's going to try to get east, but this high pressure and this northwest flow will continue for a while too until we get to the weekend. That northeast flow has actually brought a little bit of a weak cold front, and that's why there's some cloud covers up to the north. Lady Smith, maybe a few sprinkles with that kind of a backdoor cold front as it kind of sweeps to the southwest. But overall, pretty quiet conditions too. Overnight fog definitely is possible. Once again, pleasant temperatures through Thursday, close to where we should be or a little bit below. And then as we get towards Thursday, Friday, more clouds, but still remaining dry. But that's going to signal a change that's going to go on here. But overnight, it's really going to be the fog potential with that northeast wind. I think right now it's going to be along the Mississippi and westward, but overall temperatures should drop back into the 50s as you wake up. Maybe some upper 40s there, but you're starting to see a little bit of that cloud cover, low clouds or fog starting to appear right during the morning rush hours. We can begin to expand that. We'll probably see, keep an eye on northeast Iowa, and I'll show that in a little bit why that could be an area of concern. Otherwise, plenty of sun tomorrow. We could have a few afternoon cloud cover once any type of fog lifts, probably near mid-70s by noon. And then as we get towards the afternoon hour, we should be topping in the upper 70s, low 80s. This is just high clouds beginning to push in. Should remain dry here through Tuesday. That's all we're going to see through Tuesday evening. All that precipitation out to the west probably won't even reach the ground, but we're just going to see clouds as we go throughout the evening with temperatures still very pleasant. Fog potential, as I mentioned, probably keep an eye as we go further west of the area and especially northeast Iowa. That's where we could see extended type of fog, maybe see some dense fog periods towards the morning. It'll take a while for that to begin to lift. All the other areas by 8 or 9 should see good visibility over those areas towards northeast Iowa, maybe till about 9 to 10 to see some of that begin to lift. But that's what we're going to be dealing with. We could see more of that too. Now smoke, we have seen some of that. It's beginning to push off to the west. So I think visibility wise, at least vertically, should improve, and doesn't look like that's going to change much coming in the next few days. And pattern wise, as I mentioned, that heat dome is going to stay to the west, to the south, but we will eventually see a change coming this weekend. If you want the 90s, just wait a little bit, because by the weekend we're going to see that warm, hot conditions pull northward towards our area. So we are going to transition a little bit to where we should be. But for tomorrow, still pleasant. Mid to upper 70s, a little bit below average, minus the morning fog. And as we go through the 8-day forecast, it's pretty quiet. That's really the big story. But we do see a change come the weekend. Hot and even humid conditions as we top back into the 90s for a couple days and then going into next week. But overall, we don't have a really good idea of any precipitation chances going on.
Yeah.
Right now it looks fairly dry, but it will get hot and humid towards the weekend.
I like what I see. We're still in summer mode.
We still can hit the
That's
90s.
good.
We've still got all September to go, yes.
And tonight's going to be clear for the supermoon tonight?
You should have minus some haze with the fog, haze with the smoke, I should say. You should be pretty good.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Greg. When we come back, area scouts host a golf tournament fundraiser. The special guest that joined them and the lesson he learned from being in scouts as a child.
Clear Choice Window and Home Solutions, your choice for quality, affordable windows, installed by our experienced team. Contact us or stop into our showroom today for your free estimate.
At Bygoff and Rohde, we know reputation is important, and it can affect your case's outcome. If you want your case to be taken seriously, you need lawyers who are taken seriously. Bygoff and Rohde, serious injuries need serious lawyers.
I'm Tammy Baldwin. I approve this message.
I'm the proud son of a single mom.
My mom worked nights to provide for us.
My mom worked 80 hours a week.
But Eric Hovde thinks if you have a single mom, you're going to be poor or a drug addict?
That is a direct path to a life of poverty. It leads to higher drug rate.
That just shows Eric Hovde is ignorant.
Come on, I'm successful today because of my mom.
I learned my work ethic from my mom, my single mom.
What is wrong with this guy?
Asher Laston Exteriors is committed to craftsmanship, innovation, and outstanding customer service as Western Wisconsin's trusted retractable awning and solar screen experts. Sonesta retractable awnings and solar screens protect you from the harsh sun. With over 150 fabrics to choose from and the largest sizes available, you can create shade to match your home and style. Save up to 20% with zero down and no interest or payments for up to 18 months with Sonesta retractable awnings, brought to you by Asher Laston Exteriors.
Start your adventure and get in a new Jeep at Pischke Motors La Crosse or Pischke Motors West Salem.
Make this the summer with Jeep. Stop into Pischke Motors now for 0% APR for 36 months on a 2024 Compass, Grand Cherokee, Wrangler, Gladiator, and Wagoneer. These Jeeps are ready for your next adventure. Pure comfort and functionality at your fingertips with the power and confidence you know Jeep provides. Stop in now because this offer ends August 31st.
Start your search at Pischke.com and drive away in your new Jeep.
Is your personal injury lawyer trying to sell you a settlement that you don't think is fair? You need a lawyer who won't settle your case just to move on to the next one. Get the full compensation you deserve. Get Bygoff and Rohde.
See the stories you missed or watch them again on our YouTube page. Or find us at news8000.com. Expect more from News 8 Now. Thanks for watching.
Community members teed off at the La Crosse Country Club this morning to support scouting in the Coulee region. The outing began with a shotgun start and featured hole-in-one challenges and giveaways. Participants also had the chance to meet a special guest, Green Bay Packer Hall of Fame quarterback Lynn Dickey. Dickey says that his time in the Boy Scouts taught him a valuable lesson about discipline.
If you don't get anything out of it other than I have a chore, I have an assignment, but the discipline that it takes to go ahead and do those chores and do those accomplishments. And I think you're learning at a young age how to discipline yourself to do something and accomplish it.
Now, funds raised at today's golf outing will go towards scouting programs in 8 southwest Wisconsin counties and Houston County, Minnesota. And we'll have another look at tonight's forecast right after this.
When the classic flavors of bacon, lettuce, and tomato meet the classic goodness of Hardee's Frisco lineup, you get instant summer favorites. Introducing Hardee's Frisco BLT Angus Burger and Frisco BLT Hand-Breaded Chicken Sandwich.
I'm Eric Hovde, and I approve this message.
There's a side of Eric Hovde you might not know. In his 20s, he was diagnosed with MS, and in that moment, his life and priorities changed. Eric started Hovde Homes. Hovde Homes rescue abandoned children from sex trafficking and slavery. For children who never experienced real love, Hovde Homes offer the love, care, and support they need to heal. MS changed Eric's life, and thousands of children are alive today because of it.
The Make It Ford Summer Sales Event is on. So make it your best summer ever with Ford. Get your ideal combination of power and capability. And experience hands-free highway driving technology with Ford Blue Cruise, available on select vehicles. It's the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event, so make it yours. Make it now. Get up to $7,400 in total savings on a new 2024 Ford F-150, only at your local Northland Ford dealers.
The feet have a really big impact on how the rest of the body moves. The knees, the hips, the lower back especially. If the foot isn't properly aligned, all of these joints are going to function incorrectly. That results in a lot of muscle tension and chronic pain. What I really like about the Good Feet system is that the right arch supports can put the foot in its proper alignment, so all the joints up the rest of the body will be aligned properly as well. And when the body's aligned, we can reduce the risk of injury and chronic pain.
Hip, knee, or back pain? See if Arch Supports can help you at the Good Feet store.
Are your toilets in need of an upgrade? Not only can older toilets be uncomfortable, they can also clog more and increase your utility bills. At Maxwell White, we offer professionally trusted Kohler toilets. Our popular best-selling toilet is the Kohler Highline, available in various heights to provide ultimate accessibility and ease of use. Don't wait. Start enjoying the exceptional power, innovation, and water-saving sustainability of a new Kohler toilet. Trust the toilet experts at Maxwell White. Plumbing done right. Call today.
The greatest meal deal for your buck? Hardee's Original Bag. Just $5.99. Loaded with your choice of 2 full-size favorites, plus fries and a drink. All for just $5.99. Hardee's. Goodness in the making.
Wisconsin could decide the 2024 race, and as election year heats up, you can expect more from News 8. This week, we'll be live at the Democratic National Convention in Chicago. Stay with us on air, in your hand, or online for fair coverage of Wisconsin politics.
All right, tonight we could have some evening haze, so maybe a great sunset with some of that smoke out there. Otherwise, we'll have some patchy fog, potentially late. That could go in through your morning commute. Otherwise, comfortable temperatures, 50s, maybe some 40s. And quiet, that's the biggest story of the world going on until we get to the weekend, and then we definitely get back into that hot and humid conditions, which we have not seen much this August, too.
Yeah, and then a special blue moon tonight.
Yeah, it's the first of 4 consecutive supermoons, and blue means 2 full moons in the same month.
Yeah, pretty rare. Okay, thank you for joining us tonight. We'll see you at 6.